All right. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to come to a muscle testing workshop. My name is Christine Cardoza from Oasis of Healing Spa, and I have Anna on here as well, Dillinger from the Inspired. Oh my goodness, what's your IG again?
The Health
The
Inspirer,
Health
which is
Inspirer.
the easiest name in
Ah,
retrospect.
right. My mind drew a blank. With me tonight as well. We've connected to do some work together, but I said I would love to run a muscle testing workshop. I think this is like step one, basics of learning how to read your own body. So I'm going to go through, we're going to practice three tonight. I'll talk about a few of the other methods that you can use, but mainly the three. And we'll get some testimonials on here as well of people who either have used a pendulum or just any tips that you might have at the end as well, just to make it more of a community feel. And it's not just me speaking the whole time. So thank you so much again. And I'm going to share some slides. So bear with me here while I be my tech person. I don't know. Anyways, we won't talk about Zoom right now. It is what it is. So I put together some basics. I'm a visual learner, and so I just find it's helpful to have some slides that you can copy if you want or screenshot if it's easier. There's some questions on there. They're super basic, but as you get going, familiar with more muscle testing, you'll just know what questions intuitively to ask. So at the beginning of this, I think it's just helpful for everyone to take 3 deep breaths together, or just in your own there. You can put your hand on your heart and your belly if you would like to ground, feet on the floor. I do this before I muscle test something, especially, my brain goes 1,000, miles a minute. And so if I am needing to muscle test someone's birth time, or I'm asking myself, is it in my highest interest to do this thing? Then I always ground. And so I think it's just helpful that if you're already in a grounded state before we do the presentation, your brain will take in more of the information. So just take 3 deep breaths or five as you're there to just really come into your own calm. I say like a vessel. I just feel like, there's even a white light coming through you, if you like, just as a way of being in calm. My name is Christine Cardoza, and I own Oasis of Healing Spa in Waterloo. I've been doing this work for 5 years now, working in the emotional body. I started in the metaphysical connection to why we have symptoms. So think of Louise Hayes, but on steroids. The book was like this thick. And I found GNM or Germanische Heilkunde, GHK, 2.5 years ago. And it was a game changer. I put all the other books away. I think that there is such a benefit to energy, absolutely, but I always start biologically right now. Why is my body presenting in this way? Or what is this symptom as a way? Because it's bang on every time on must be the conflict shock or the thing that happened to you in your body. And so by being able to read your own body language, it takes away the fear of symptoms, but you don't necessarily need to reach out to someone when you're in this panic of like, oh no, I have this rash. What do I do? I'm going to teach you some tools tonight that you can actually start to process it on your own. We'll get to that at the end. First, I'll teach you all about pendulums and the sway method and the hand. So why muscle test? What's the point? This definitely is not using your muscles. It's mistermed, but the whole point of it is that the exercise or the method that you use, it's reading your frequency of what your yes is or your no. I think it was termed muscle testing because I don't know if you've ever been to a naturopath where they say, hold this vial of bread or mushrooms or whatever, and they put the arm out, and if it's strong, you can hold it. If it's weak for your body and it's not good for you, then you can't hold it. Okay, that's like where the muscle test has come from. But we're not going to use that one. What I saw actually from Danielle Bryant, who's an amazing, amazing GNM GHK practitioner, is her and her husband will get on a call together, and she actually uses her husband as the muscle tester for the client who's somewhere. Well, my client was overseas, and he was able to do the up and down with the arm of whether the question that Danielle was asking. to help them with their timeline if it was a true yes or no. It was so cool. I hadn't seen it through a third party before. So that's energy. Energy flows, right? We're made of energy. The table or the chair you're sitting on has a frequency, and energy can't be destroyed or created. So when you're asking these questions tonight, as we're going to practice, you can maybe just think about that. You're reading the energetic field of what is your yes and what is your no. So I'll talk a little bit of the three types we're going to talk about tonight, or what we're going to teach. I feel like it's super easy. So if this is a little bit overwhelming, listen again, because as soon as you get the questions down and you see it for yourself, you're like, wow, okay, this is so cool. So if you take a pendulum and you hold it, and this is what a pendulum looks like. If you don't have a proper pendulum from a store, you can also have a necklace, or a string with a ring on it, needle and thread, that can work as well if you don't have one in a pinch. Sometimes when I'm out and about, I'll just take off my necklace and I'll use that as a pendulum if needed, mostly if I'm showing someone else. I've been able to learn the hand method, and I'll show you that tonight as the one that I use the most. So pendulum sometimes, but I use the hand one because that's my own frequency. The pendulum you can manipulate with your mind. Mwahaha. Your mind is very strong. And so if you really want to, yes, like, is it my highest good to go on that date tomorrow night? You can actually change the pendulum to the yes if it's something that you really, really want. I find the sway method is a little bit harder, and I'll show you that in a second, because you're moving your whole body. And then the finger and hand method, there's a couple. You can like cup your fingers together. We're going to practice this, and it's show me yes, show me no, or I just use the finger. So I have like bunny ears in a sense, and I'm trying to push the finger through of what my yes is and what my no is. Yes is strong. You can hold it. No, you cannot. And I'm going to give you some examples in a second. Okay. So muscle testing is part of foundation of energy healing. And again, it's just reading the frequency. So always start small with show me yes and show me no. So if you want to pick up your pendulum, we'll do this one first, and you're going to hold it. I've heard different things where you can hold it below your heart or just at your heart. Make sure you're comfortable. Because if you're like trying to hold it in a weird way, then your arm's going to get tired and you're going to overwhelm your system. So, what I do is I just hold my elbow into my side to give me some of that like grounding and security in my body. And you hold it up. And then I sometimes hold my belly as just a way of grounding and reminding myself that, okay, stay in my own energy field, because especially if I have clients or someone's walking by, our brain's picking up all of the distractions around us at the same time. So I'll do that, and I'll take 3 deep breaths again to come into my body. Okay. And so the first question we're going to ask your pendulum or your necklace, whatever you have, is show me yes. Okay, very simple. You only give it one command, and we're waiting for the pendulum to say yes or no. So it's show me yes. And it already started to move, because in my brain, I was like, the next question is show me no. See how much you can program it? That's why sometimes, depending on the way you're asking, you're wanting a certain result, and the way that you're asking it is different than what your end result is. So that's why the different, you can have the different sways. So show me yes is front, forward, and back for myself. Some people are a circle. Some people are back and forth this way. Some are sideways. It all depends what yours is. And if you don't know, or you want to program it in a way that you know for sure is a yes, you can say pendulum, my forward and back is my yes. You can actually program your own pendulum. Doesn't have to be, to your frequency or whatever the universe might do for you. You can actually program it. Okay, show me yes is my forward and back. Show me no, and then mine is goes sideways. Okay. And I have been doing this for 5 years. So I really know my pendulum, and I can pick up anything and make it move. Some of you will pick it up and it'll be dead flat. You'll be like, it's not working. Just take your time with it. It takes time to get to know your pendulum, or to get to know the energy, or any of the methods I'm going to show you today. The biggest thing is to have fun, get out of your head, because your brain's going to logically think, well, it's not working, or we self doubt so much. Just come into your body. If you feel like you're ruminating in your mind, take more deep breaths. I have my hand on my belly right now because I am grounding. Couple reasons. I'm using the pendulum, but also my body is very aware that I'm on stage and I get a little bit nervous. And so I'm doing it double fold to ground. Okay. And so all you need is to know your yes and your no. Show me yes, show me no. Okay, and then you get to play and ask yourself questions. So, first question, super easy. My name is, and you give your real name. So, for me, my name is Christine, and I'm back to my yes. Can you see me on the screen? Okay, perfect. And then show me no, or sorry, um, my name is Christine. Yes. My name is Bill. No, my name is not Bill. That's not my truth. That's not the frequency of my truth. So, it's going to give me a no. Okay, and so practice that. Some other questions you can ask are here on the screen. It can be, I live in Kitchener-Waterloo for myself. Yes. I live in Germany. No. Right? You can do your age. You can say, I drive a black car. Yes. I drive a red car. No. Okay, so back to the frequency of your yes and your no. So that's how you work with a pendulum. Okay. I'll teach this to you in case you do birth charts or you want to know something for clients. I use this when clients don't know their birth time. I think it's so important you know your birth time because then on any astrology chart, you can actually get the true aspects for yourself and the houses. So it is important. And so I'm gonna pick you, Anna, okay? Don't tell me what time that you're born, but I'm just gonna say, was Anna born in the AM? Was she born in the PM? No. So I already know that I can do from 12 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. Okay, and then I'll just pick out hours. Was she born between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m.? And I'm taking a deep breath because I'm like my body's starting to go in a little bit of overwhelm. So I don't want to get not that I'm worried about getting a wrong answer, but I don't want it to affect my answer on the pendulum. So was she born between 6 or 12 a.m. and 6 a.m.? 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. Now I'm getting a no. So I had a yes and then I have a no. So now my brain's going to be like, oh, I got to start over, right? So I'm just going to breathe and calm down. Was Anna born between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m.? No. And she's really flying now. Okay. Was she born between 6:01 a.m. and 11:59 a.m.? Yes. Okay. And then I'll take it out by 3 hours. But for sake of time, it's going to go faster. So let's say I got yes between 6 and 7 a.m., then I would say, was she born between 6 and 6:30 a.m.? No. Let's say, was she born between 6:30 and 7 a.m.? Yes. Then I'll go to like the time. Was it between 6:30 and 6:35? Right. And then you go by the minute and it will tell you your yes and no. And then I confirm it. Was she born at say 6:33 a.m.? Do I use 6:33 a.m. for the chart to get that full yes and no? Just for sake of time, I'm going to skip that. Okay. This gives you an idea of how you can do that for yourself or for clients. So that's the pendulum. I also have a necklace and you can even just clear energy. So let me clear the energy of this room. And it's going counterclockwise to take out. And then clockwise will be to put in positive energy. And I didn't even change my hand. It did it on its own. That's the pendulum. When you know the pendulum, it already knows what I'm going to ask because I've done that so many times that it gets to be a part of you where it just knows. So if you imagine, just say right now, let me clear the energy of my bedroom and it's going to clear out the energy. And I say, when the energy has cleared, please stop. You command your pendulum. Doesn't do it. Like you can absolutely program it. So then now I know it's clear. And then if you want to put in anything good, then you can, make it go in a clockwise fashion. You could even say, you know what, I want to give myself confidence, like whatever the opposite of whatever you don't want. So if you are doubting yourself or you're doubting using your pendulum, say, okay, I want to clear the self-doubt of using my pendulum, and it should go counterclockwise. Or, and then clockwise for no, I want to bring in confidence, connection to my pendulum or to my own energy field to do that. Okay. So that's just a little bit about the pendulum. The biggest thing really is practice. And you want to ask it in very simple questions. You only want it to give you one answer. So it's like, should I have chicken or beef? No. Is it my highest good to have chicken tonight? When you're at the grocery store, if you want to take your pendulum, sure, but I'll teach you another way that's easier. Is it my highest good to buy avocados today? Right? So you're always wanting to ask one question. And if you can, try not to use should, must, or need. Right? When we grew up, you should do your homework. You need to clean your room. It's just not super friendly words in any kind of language anywhere, even with people. You should do this. You should do that. Immediately, their back's going to be up because they're like, yeah, but I was told I should do my homework too. Okay, so um, take away those three words. And so you can ask the questions of like, is it in my highest good? Is it, good for me to do this? Basically, that's what you're asking is you want to know the answer. Is this, the best thing for me? Okay. All right. Erase doubt. No matter what questions you are using or how experienced you are with muscle testing, it's important to clear your mind of doubt before you begin. Me too. I can tell when I'm too overwhelmed. Um, it's not going to cooperate or it will stop or it'll do a certain sway that I don't know what that is. I'll share a couple other things. So show me yes. You can practice with this. Show me no. Show me no. I already know what to do in my brain, so it's already on to the next thing. Show me maybe. My maybe is a circle, and you can program it if you want. Pendulum, I'm programming my maybe to a circle or whatever other, depending on what your yes or no is. And then show me on the right track. And for me, it's a diagonal. It's not straightforward like my yes is or sideways like my no. It's on an angle. And so then I know that I need to reposition the question. That I'm asking, I'm on the right track, but I'm not asking it in the way where the pendulum can give me an easy yes or no. Super simple, basic questions when you're asking. Okay, so remember that you're just beginning if you are new in the pendulum world or muscle testing, and to give yourself patience and time. Practice, is it raining outside? Is it sunny? Is it Friday? Is it Tuesday? Right? You can ask simple questions that you already know the answer to build your confidence as you get to know the pendulum better. Okay. If you are in your mind or you're too overwhelmed, then come back into breathing. Your breath is your number one always. So come back into breath, ground, and relax. It's the only way that the pendulum's going to work. If your mind is, ruminating too much, you're not going to get a good read of your own energy field. There's too much noise in your field. Okay. Come into your body or intuition and get out of your head. That's the biggest thing. Don't try to do logic with it. Just let the energy flow of the pendulum or whatever method you use to work for yourself. Hold your body or your belly, your leg if you want, if needed, just to help yourself ground and stay present in your own field, especially if there's a lot going on. Your kids are running around or whatever. Just try to stay in your own field and shake your body if needed to get the wiggles out. And that's mainly for the sway method that I'm going to show you next. Biggest thing, have fun. Okay. Teach this to your children. I taught this to my niece. She was probably about, let's see, she's 12 now. So maybe 6 years old. And I taught her the one with the finger. I'm going to show you in a little bit. And she was like, wow. And she laughed because it worked for her. Her yes was yes and no was no. And then immediately her mind got in. She's like, that's stupid because she didn't understand how it was working. So teach the kids from little because now, well, actually, there was a time when, I'd ask her a question or trying to, get her to make a decision herself instead of me telling her. And she would say, you muscle test it, you check it because she wouldn't trust her own. but it's just a matter of practice and time. And then the kids can even make, a better decision for themselves as well. Okay, so I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna go back. Actually, I'm gonna stop sharing for just a second. Let me see what my next slide is. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to this. So let me stop sharing just so that you can
Christine, did
see.
you double check nobody's in the weight room?
Yep. Thank you. Okay, so with the sway method, I'm going to show you what it is, but wherever you are, if you can stand up, it's better. And before I show you the sway, just while you're all getting settled, these are dowsing rods. So I'll just bring it closer to the camera. So dowsing rod is copper or some kind of a metal with a handle. And these are actually what were used to find out on the farm where the water was. So usually start with them facing like forward. See if I can get that. And as soon as you find the yes or the water, it'll go to the side. So if you ever have an opportunity to pick up dowsing rods or to market them for those of you who are practitioners, I highly recommend it because it's another way that people can test um, the energy. And even like over the head, like a woman's energy flows differently. So this is going counterclockwise. Okay, so that's the energy of my field. And then the masculine goes clockwise. Would you like to say? Okay. So try them if you do get some rods. Okay. So next thing, we're going to do the sway method. And the sway method, again, get the wiggles out, ground, hold your belly if you need to, go inside, close your eyes if you need to. Your brain's going to say, whoa, this is weird. What are you doing? So you can get overwhelmed very easily. And so when you turn sideways, correct. When you turn sideways, so I'm going to ask the question again, show me yes and show me no, but one at a time. Okay. And you're either going to sway back or forward or sideways for your yes. Okay, so try that first. Show me yes. Mine's back. Show me yes. Take a deep breath. Okay, when you think you got that, then you're going to say, show me no. And you're going to do another, like usually the opposite. So for me, my yes is backwards. Majority of people are forward. There's no right or wrong. It's just your energy field. And so my no then is forward. Or I've seen people go to the side. So it just all depends. It's your field. So practice. Show me yes, show me no. Get the wiggles out if your brain's not working. Just be in your own field. Ground with your belly or hands on your leg. When you're ready, you can come back and sit. It's a practice, so that's just basically how it works. You need to try a little bit more practice. But definitely try it with your kids. It's really fun. And then you can teach them how to critically think for themselves and to make their own decisions or practice it, once a week or something like that, so that you're teaching them how to trust their own intuition and their own bodies. Okay, which is really important. Anyone who's on the call, do you want to share? Anna, do you want to share? Did the sway method work for you?
It's not my favorite.
Okay.
Not my favorite. I
Right.
just, I don't know if it's that I get too much in my head, but it doesn't feel clear to me. Whereas the pendulum feels very clear. Like I understand how it works for me. It resonates consistently. The one thing I will say that I learned early days is that I'm a fast talker and a fast question asker. So
Mm-hmm.
I asked Christine, why is it spinning? And she said, well, maybe slow down a little bit. Like if you ask back-to-back questions, give it some
Yeah,
time. So that was a really good one. If I see it shaking, that it's going too fast. The questions
perfect.
are coming too fast. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Anyone else want to comment, or do you have any questions?
Yeah, so for me, I'll just jump in really quick. So for me, the sway test is always, anything with my body will always be like first and foremost my go-to, like staying with my attunement to my own frequency. Um, I do love the pendulum because that's how I was trained to work with missing animals and to find them. And it's been most helpful in most cases, though, that's a whole can of worms in and all of itself. Um, but even just today, it was interesting. Like, I don't know if there was like a little bit of that subconscious coming in of like getting in your head. And then I like just talking about getting in my head, I got in my head and I was like, okay, like, so I find that when I think too much about it, it's a lost cause. But when I kind of sit down to work because I have to work because it's something that's like, let's just do it. You get down to business and your body's like, okay, let's do this. So it's really interesting to be in this microcosm moment with all of you and experience it the way I'm experiencing it. And then outside of this bubble, I have also different experiences, but I like this slowing it down. I like, Christine, I really love your perspective on a lot of what's coming up here. And yeah, I love being a student of this kind of stuff. So thank you. Oh,
Yeah, and thanks for
just one
sharing.
note,
Yeah, go
Christine, is
ahead.
that I have to jump on a call at 8. So if you guys just see me ghost, I'll say thank you now.
Thank you. Yeah, and thanks for sharing that you use it for work, because this is something that, like, I just feel eventually people will be able to put this on their resume, that they know how to use, muscle testing, or in whatever way, or even that they're clairvoyant or clairsentient, clairaudient, etc. These are skills that I think are really important for us to get to know ourselves and our energy field, but also it really does build confidence when you know within. I'm going to tell you a story. This is really funny, and I'm sharing it because it's a bit of a shock story, but it'll help you remember to use your muscle testing in whatever one of these ways that you really like when you need to make a decision, or you're like, you feel like you're getting a message from God or spirit, and you're like, I don't like that answer, and to muscle test and to check. Okay, so it was about 3 years ago now. I'm at my sink, I'm washing my dishes, and I had a date that night, and I was super excited, like so into that guy. We're not together anymore, but it's probably a sign. But I'm washing the dishes, and spirit just said, cancel the date. And I was like, no, I want to go on the date. Like, I don't want to cancel. And I just, like, it was a clear message, cancel the date. It's like, man. So I muscle tested, is it in my highest good to stay home tonight? And it was. So I messaged him and I said, I'm really sorry. I cannot come on the date tonight. Let's reschedule. I didn't say Spirit told me I couldn't come. He probably would have thought I was weird, but I honored that inner knowing to not go. Then I go to bed and I wake up at 12:30 in the morning or so with diarrhea. And I was like, oh my God, thank goodness I was home, because I would have died. Like, I would have died if I had been at his house. So I'm telling you, when you get a message and you're like, I don't like that, or I don't know if this is the right answer for me, you can talk to another friend or a partner or someone in the home, and connect with someone else. But I really do feel it's trusting your intuition when you're getting that nudge. Or do I start the book, right? If you're being asked to write a book, do I start the course? Do I reach out to this person? Often when someone comes into your mind, it could be that spirit's like, hey, I would like you to connect to that person, because maybe they're not having a good day, or they have a big question and you have the answer. So it's just a way to trust yourself. Or do I go on that coffee date with a friend? Let's say your house is a mess, but someone's like, hey, I would love to go for coffee with you. Can you meet with me? Muscle test it. Be like, is it in my highest good to go for that coffee date? And if you get a no, then just saying, hey, I'm really sorry, but I don't have capacity to do that today, or I'm not able to meet. You don't need to tell them you checked your pendulum, right? That's for you. It's really for your own inner knowing. But if you are checking it, or the sway method. And then let's say, you got a no, but you went anyways, then more than likely you're going to go that coffee and you're going to regret that you're there, or, something happened on the way or what have you. So if you can use it as a way to listen to your intuition, to trust yourself, and that when you're getting those messages, that there's probably something there for you. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to share the screen again and just talk a little bit about how to use these with symptoms and how to read your body. Because if you know how to read your own body language, you will have so much less fear around symptoms or what's happening in your body or with your kids or your pet. So many people, I'm in a German New Medicine chat for people with pets. I'm like, oh, like you can just feel the fear in some of the comments. And I'm just like, if they could muscle test and ask, what has just gone on in that pet's environment, that the body would respond in this way, that it would make more sense to them. So this is really, really helpful. Actually, sorry, before I do this, I forgot to do the finger muscle testing. So there's two ways to do it. If you want to like take your middle finger and your thumb, and then you hold them together and say, show me yes, show me no. Your yes will be strong, your no will not be. Show me yes, show me no. Okay, so that's one way to do the finger test. And I started with this one and it's okay. And I have to say, like, God bless my mom. So she learned how to muscle test as well. We both did the last 5 years, and it was really beautiful. She just passed in January, but she was muscle testing whether to have one piece of toast or two, or one egg or two. It was so cute. And she would muscle test. And I was like, oh, how cute. She was so sick and she was still using muscle testing as a way of trusting what was for her because she couldn't get it in her mind. Her mind was just too overwhelmed. And so I just thought it was really cute. This little lady muscle testing what to have for breakfast. And me try not to get annoyed because I had to make the breakfast. All right, next one is the circle one. This is my favorite one. This is the one that I use the most. Again, you'll end up finding one that works for you. There's no right or wrong. Just get to know your frequency and your heck yes and your heck no in your body. You might have yes, that's goosebumps on your arms, or a no, that's like a gut drop, or tingles on your leg for a no, or whatever. Whatever you're receiving as far as messages, I would say, from the spirit field, to trust that and to pay attention, okay? So that you can read your own body or what's going on in your environment. So when you hold this one, it's the middle finger and the thumb again. And basically the whole point is I'm trying to push through my finger, the pointer Peter finger on the other hand, okay? And so you try it again and you say, show me yes, show me no. My name is Christine. My name is Bill. I can't hold that. It's not my truth. This is where you can be at the grocery store. Is it my highest good? Or, do I buy avocados today? I get a yes. Do I buy chips? Oh, no, it's not for my highest good. I never get a yes for chips. Okay, because it's the body saying, no, thank you. We don't want that crap.
Does it matter? Is it your dominant hand that's doing the...
My dominant one holds, and my non-dominant is the one that's pushing through. But I've never tried it the other way. Show me yes, show me no. It still works. Show me yes, show me no. Yeah.
Okay.
This is, again, play with it, whatever feels comfortable to you, as just a way of getting that. But that way you can be in the grocery store and you don't need to sway. You don't need to pull your pendulum out of your purse or take off your necklace. You can do it conspicuously where no one's even knowing. So even when I'm with clients, if they're saying to me, like, I have a headache, immediately I'll be like, is it a conflict active, or is it an epicrisis, like the healing phase? Are they conflict active or are they healing? And so utilize that as a way of testing with your clients, or whatever answer you're trying to get, or your kids, to be able to get an answer, so that you have a little bit of an idea of maybe the path of direction of questioning to ask them next. I don't show them that I'm muscle testing. I just do it on my own. Because again, the answer's for me, it's not for them. Right? Okay. So back to the screen here, you can apply this when you are looking at your symptoms. And if you don't know German New Medicine or Gemenische Heilkunde, I like calling it GHK, and GNM also works and GH works. But basically what it is the psyche brain organ connection of your symptoms and what's going on, okay, in the body. And so when you are either trying to figure out your own inner conflict or you have a tricky track, what that means is you're stepping on a track of this is what allergies are, or you get a head cold and you just, let's say you had one 3 months ago and you got another one, you're stepping on a track of something that, a stink conflict, something you don't want to smell or you didn't smell the danger. You don't have to know GHK specifically. You just know where to go and look up to find the symptoms. So I'm not going to teach that part of it. What I really just want to know is how you can use it to ask yourself questions while you're using the muscle testing, okay? Whether it's the pendulum or the hand method or the sway. So an example, it could be, is my headache conflict active or healing phase? Because you can have a headache in both of those. Okay, so you can start to ask yourself, maybe you could ask, is my sneeze an epicrisis? Like, is the sneeze, did I resolve something? Am I at the end of the healing? And your pendulum or your whatever method you use will say yes or no. Is my cold from work? Yes or no. Is my cold from my kids? Did they annoy me? Yes or no. Okay. Am I tired because I'm in a healing phase? If you get a yes, you are going to have way more patience for yourself than beating yourself up of like, oh, got all this work to do. I can't get up or what have you. You know that your body's saying, yo, we're under construction. You need to rest. Okay. Or you could ask, am I tired because my body is asking for better nutrients? Right? Do I need an adrenal cocktail? Next one could be, is my skin rash the epidermis layer? Right? Skin rash in GHK is from a separation conflict. And then depending on where it is in the body, it tells you more of the story. But you could even ask, what layer is it in to help yourself? Because with the epidermis, where it's on top, that's where eczema is going to be. If it's deeper in the dermis, now you've got psoriasis. So you're in healing and conflict at the same time. Okay, so it can even just help you. I think that the third biological law, for those who are new, sorry, it might be a little bit more advanced. Reach out to me if you want to know more about this. I can give you some other information, but you can actually even ask what, when you know what germ layer it's in or the tissue layer, the yellow group is all about morsel and reproduction. Think of your basic needs. The orange group with the line through it is all about protection. That's where a lot of the acne is, feeling, attacked, soiled, dirtied. The orange layer is the new mesoderm part of the brain, and that's all about abilities. So you not feeling like you had good enough abilities, then that's usually bones, muscles, ligaments, which have pain in the healing phase. So many times, majority of the time, your symptoms are because you resolve something. It is a healing phase. And then the red group, the cortex, the ectoderm layer is all about communication. So it's a communication issue. So if you already know what layer it's in, you can help yourself resolve things so much faster. So that's just a little bit of a tip for those who use GHK in their day-to-day or are learning it for themselves, just as a way that you can use still the muscle testing as a way of figuring out your answers to get to more of your confident yes or no, especially when you can't remember the original conflict, that original where you felt alone, isolated, or caught on the wrong foot. Then the body listens to what you're ruminating on or in that moment, and that the body either adapted, well, it would adapt or be in conflict active until you resolve the conflict and go into healing. Okay. And so even just asking yourself what part of the two phases, if usually when you're cold, you're in conflict, and when you're hot, you're healing. And so if you have a fever, you can use the muscle testing to ask yourself some questions as well. Is it in my highest good to take this aspirin? Most of the time, no, your body knows what it's doing, but sometimes it'll say yes, absolutely. So if you're not sure about something with your body, whether it's why is this here or do I take this herb or this tea, or do I just leave myself, be? Do I just take a bath, or I don't need to take something if you can handle the symptom? That's a really good way just to know whether, just how to move forward with your own self. Okay. And then I just want to say thank you. I will stop for some Q&A in just a second, but I'm just going to share the slide here to say thank you for coming and for taking the time out to invest in yourself to learn how to read your body better. This tool is one thing that has saved me so many times, or just helped me to see either for myself or for a client or a loved one just what was going on. And if you want help with your own muscle testing questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me. The website's there, or the email, or reach out to me on Instagram. You can send me a private message. And then the last thing I want to share, I'm not going to go into all the details, but Anna and I are getting ready to create an offer for women 40 plus, a membership where women will have access to come and ask us questions around their body symptoms, perimenopause, menopause. I just find that there's a lot of women in the 40 plus age that are in this like almost panic of like, what is happening to my body? I'm doing my yoga, I'm eating right, all these things, but the body's still doing some, funky things, or they're in so much pain that we just want to be that soft, gentle space where you can come and ask your questions. You can figure out what is going on in your body. We're going to help you with those things. And so the website is thehealthinspire.com/ naturally nourished femme. The program is called Naturally Nourished Femme. Anna works with nutrition and minerals, and I love the HTMA, the hair test, being able to see inside the body. And then I work in the emotional body, but teaching you, why you have the symptoms. We're not doing it for you. It's like teaching a man how to fish. We're going to teach you how to figure it out on your own so that no matter what happens, you have the skills and you know how to do that. And yeah, just being able to help you process. I'll share with you, owning a spa now for 3 years, the two top things people come in to see me with are shoulders and hips. And the hips do not lie, like Shakira said. Okay. And so the hips are usually connected to some kind of intimacy issue, especially when it's in the lower back. If it's not, the burden is too great, because that's, can be what the hip area is, or not feeling supported, the lower back, then there's usually something where you don't feel good enough. There's something around abilities in relationship. And we have not been taught how to be vulnerable, how to, share a hard thing without breaking down or without blaming or shaming. We're learning how to do that now. I was 45 when I learned what a boundary was. I was like, what? I can say no? Like, I had no idea. So, learning those kinds of things, we want to just be that soft space where people can come and ask their questions. And so if you have any questions about that, please let us know. You'll see more information coming up in the later days. And again, I just wanted to say thank you. So I'm going to stop sharing.
If I could just give a plug
Yeah.
for the people that are on here or listening to the recording, I don't want to leave out my lovely men and women that are under the age of 40. I do offer a hair tissue mineral analysis. It's a standalone service just for fellow practitioners, coaches, energy workers. So if that's something that you're interested in, is looking inside your physiology, honoring the biological conflict perspective, you can get in touch with me. I'm sure we'll have that information linked when we follow up with the recording, but you can also find me on Instagram at thehealthinspirer.com. And I do help clients of all ages, including children.
Amazing. All right, super. And you can reach me, Oasis of Healing Spa, or on Instagram is where I play the most. Oasis of Healing Spa there too. And then share your Instagram as well, Anna.
Yeah. Any questions we can answer for you while we're all together?
I just share something real quick here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start playing around with the sway method a bit more. Earlier in the spring, somebody was helping me figure out a major decision, and they used it like without telling me what it was. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So as soon as you brought it up, it put me back to that. And when I was practicing, it seemed to work very well. So it's something I'm gonna try. And one more thing I just want to bring up too is lately I've been making some alterations to my diet and stuff, and something over the past week that I picked up has been giving me some serious digestion issues. So I've been doing detective work, trying to cut certain things out to see what it is. And my intuition told me what it probably was, and I just did it with this, and I'm like, yeah, that's what's got to go. That's what's upsetting me. So not going to do it anymore. And yeah, we'll see where that goes from there.
Amazing. That's good. Thanks, Phil.
Hmm.
See, you can use it for so many practical things. Yeah, excellent. All right. Anyone else have any comments or questions? Or did you get a funky answer when you asked first? The yes and no? Is
Well,
there anyone who did? Yeah,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
starting to practice the sway test or sway method because I really, really want to get it. It just, to me, highlights the fact that I can get better in touch with my body because I don't know who was saying it. Meg was saying that she likes that it's so body centric, and I'd like to see if I can figure that out.
Yeah. It's honestly the best one for not overriding. Like the pendulum, you can override. So if it's like a bigger decision or you're getting the answer you really do want, but it could go two ways, then I would test all three and but try the muscle or the sway as a way because um yeah, it's just you're moving your whole body. Like that's a lot of physiology, right? A lot of cells to move. And so, yeah, by using that, it'll just help to give you answers or use a couple methods. If you're too much in your head or you're like, oh, I'm not getting the answer I want, go away, do something else, and come back to it later or another day when you are totally in calm. The idea is that, if you can be a little bit non-attached to the answer, you're going to get a better response, or the pendulum or the whatever method is actually going to work. But if you're too much in your mind, you're going to have a harder time with it. Then again, it's okay. Just come back into calm, breathe and ground again. And then it'll help you to just be in that kind of that space of like, what is the yes and no that is for my highest good? Because sometimes the no is the better answer. Awesome. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you. I'm going to stop the recording and here if you have any other questions for a few more minutes, but I just want to say I really appreciate it. And this is just, so good that you're taking the time to even learn these tools because it can really help you with so many things.